Bedroom was like a kiln last night. Yeah, that happens here too. Like, I don't know, it's something about the roof and the sun. It just, it becomes very stuffy. We have an attic fan, but when it turns on, the whole top floor resonates. So it's like sleeping inside of a subwoofer. That I was up too late. It's mostly just me being up too late. Buy a cot and sleep in the shop. I've thought about it, but nah. There's a couch outside of this room that I can sleep on if I really need to, but I just don't want to exist entirely in a basement. Flatulent Gonad, welcome to the board. You're by Ecoskeleton and Runecar Snowpen. A hammock. Just what I need is what are they called? Whatever. Stuff coming out of the wall. Studs. Had somebody donate 100 subs at once? RYG, what I'm supposed to do, given that question, is I'm supposed to bait somebody into donating 100 subs. I'm supposed to say, no, I've never had that happen before. I don't know what would occur. It would be a disaster, and you totally break my stream. But yeah, we have had 100 giftos when the board was younger. 100 giftos right now probably would not be good for the board. It might actually kill it. Because some random name is going to be large, and it might not be able to place it. At the end of the last board, at the end of BTS 2, what triggered us to having a name, we had a name that literally took a week. Or no, it took, I think it was an entire 24 hours for it to place a name, but it actually found a spot for it. It actually found a spot for that, and then it was the name that went in, and it took a week to place. That's when I said enough is enough. Tap water. This is just straight tap water. It's not even cooled. That's how prepared I was for today. What's up with Nintendo Direct? I feel like I should pull up. I feel like even though it's definitely allowed now, I should just like
it is sort of
rolling once we start working on stuff. I don't know what our goal today is. I don't really know. We need to work on Burn the Subs, the new Burn the Subs. I need to get a multi-axis test going, so that's sort of the goal. I got a couple cool things though in the mail. It's been a long 4 days since I've streamed last. I feel like I need a shorter break between things. I just ordered you 24 Red Bulls. No! No. So I got these two things, which are pretty cool. I don't know where I'm gonna find 200 volts. I don't know where I'm gonna find 200 volts to power them, but these are magic. I kind of try to keep my ear to the ground for cool stuff like this. Very simple circuit to power them. This is not the right one. Close though. I mean, just things like this. They're like weird visualization tubes that this guy doesn't even show working. Yeah, EM80. What is this? Oh man, I gotta subscribe to some of these channels. Correctly too. There he is. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Raspberry Pi Pico, but I got 10 of them now. I don't know. Everywhere that I use something like this, I just have C code in my brain. Yeah, you can also get just the chip for $1. I didn't do that because I don't anticipate myself using this in a lot of designs. And I don't know what all this shit is. I don't know what all this is over here. How much of it is totally required. Looks like got ferrite beads on the USB inputs, but USB goes directly in. I think that's a voltage regulator. Looks like it is. It's got a big diode. Booster. No, boot cell. This is where you sell your boots. You gotta sell some boots. It would be cool if it was a turbo button. Turbo. Bro. Well, any turbo, turbos lie. Turbo slows down your computer. It makes it run other programs better. But yeah, these half holes are for direct to PCB. It looks interesting enough. Might have some stuff that I could do with it. I'm not really sure though. Debug. What would you do with a debug? Round SWDI OSWD clock? Huh. It's a jam. I like whatever's playing right now. Lots of GPs. General purposes. Is that a ground just in the middle of these? 16, 17 ground. Here. Yeah. Does this do well, it depends on your IDE, I guess. You know, like step debugging or whatever that is. Where you like step through your code bit by bit, see what's happening. Line by line. What are those there for? Is that I2C? A1, A0. Maybe it's something for the analog. Runs on 3v3. I wonder, are these 5-volt tolerance? Yeah, are we learning Linux now? No. I don't have any use for these yet. I got a pile of 10 of them though. Serial wire debug. 2-pin alternative JTAG interface that is the same JTAG protocol. Uses an ARM CPU standard, bi-directional, blah, 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 blah. Enables debugger to become another AMBA bus master for access to system memory and peripherals or debug registers. Man, I wish they'd speak English in these stupid like things that they write about there. Our new special MBAR bus standard is a subset of JRAM like a hot lady. I don't. No, I love Diet Pepsi is my preference actually over Diet Coke. Diet Coke is just standard everywhere. I want to say Wojak, but it's not Wojak. Wishniak? I'm not saying it because I don't know what it is. I don't know what to say. I don't know. We're gonna try to work on Burn the Subs 3, but I don't know what we're gonna do. There's so much to do. Diet Mug root beer. Root beer tastes like the Federation. This is the driver for the Thrustmaster. No, not Sidewinder. The Microsoft Sidewinder joystick is done optically, and it uses 3 infrared LEDs on a sliding plate, and the location of the 3 infrared LEDs tells this thing where you're aiming the joystick. When they twist, the joystick twists. It meant no contact between. Alright, I suppose I need to actually get the stuff for Burn the Subs. I mean, today might be a little bit mechanical, but I do just want to kind of like plan it out, and I want to take it easy today because I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling great, chat. I need to get sleep. I'm gonna start going to bed earlier. My head kind of feels like it's underwater right now. All right. Am I replacing the button on the sample sheet? I really should. I don't have anything to go in there. I don't want to order buttons. I don't want to order that button. I don't have any particular attachment to it. Neighbors were moving stuff into a U-Haul at 6 a.m. Oh god. Oh god. Technically, that's against noise ordinance, isn't it? But you can't. Like, what are you gonna do? Damage is already done by the time you're awake, yeah. The broken button is in the garbage. I threw it out. I can't put the broken button in there. As fun as that would be. Neighbors are always up too early. Yeah. We have a door slamming competition around here, and I think they made it to the regional finals because, man, they are working at it. But they're good. They're good at door slamming. Yeah, I think they made regionals. Okay, let's get burn the subs. Blah, 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 burn the subs. Burn the subs out here. We'll get ready to start soon. Pew! As much as I hate to interrupt Metronomic, because I like this mix, I will interrupt him. So, what are we doing today? Well, I figure we need to kind of get our heads back in the game in terms of working on Burn the Subs 3, the third version of the board that sits on my wall. I'm thinking about it a bit. We have one axis working. It would be nice if we could get a second axis working and then some kind of a test to see how it's going to do in terms of like engraving. So I think what we might build is some kind of a like a plotter with it. Something that can drop a pen down and like make stuff, and then we can send it, I guess, G-code or something. It needs specific instructions made for it. So this might involve a Raspberry Pi. I may have to interpret G-code on my own in the Raspberry Pi and then send RS-485 over to this controller. These are all the little tiny steps that we need to do in order to vet out the technology and stuff. I was hoping that we would have like full hardware to do it on. That's kind of what we're going to look at today. It's the hardware. Let's see what we can do here. The kinematics of the setup. I'm thinking we should go with sort of a different way of moving the XY table around here. Let me sit down for this. This is already giving me a headache. All right, give me a little breathing room here. So, all right. I forget where the article was. I could always pull it up from the Discord project section. But it's, I mean, basically 3D printer kinematics. But, I mean, not an article to read. I just wanted the pictures. There's two different types of ways of, like, belt-driven, stepper motor belt-driven XY systems that I find interesting because they take the motors and they fix them in a spot. So, like, in the case of, oh God, hey Phil, can I just look at the article, please? Jesus Christ, get the fuck out of here. How do I get you to go away? X. All right. God, I hate that. Look at how they give it room on the side of the page too. They give it all this space. It's like, can I just read the article, please? Jeez. All right, so KuroKesu. This is the one that I keep forgetting about, and part of the things that people linked me to. KuroKesu. You have 4 ends of belts attached to your XY thing, and then you have this weird crossover belt system, such that the motors moving together. The motors always have to move together, but the motors moving together in different ways will move your X and Y axis back and forth. So when you individually move an axis, one motor is not moving at a time, which is a lot less simple. It's a lot less simple, and it means that I need to have a bunch of belts facing odd angles like this. And it also means that there needs to be this weird crossover in the back that I don't really appreciate. I've seen a lot of KuroKesu setups, and they always are like a cat's cradle. Probably a video would be better to pull up here, but like all of them are like these weird belty cat's cradle things with just belts all over the place. Here, let's go to video. Maybe I can see one moving around. Oh God, why does it always start like that? All right, guy, weird guy. Yeah, well, maybe we can't quite see it in something like this. Maybe there's a better video for it. Let's see. KuroKesu. Explained with 2 blank pieces of paper. It needed 2 pages? It's always a guy in front of their computer, huh? This is how he's explaining it? He really is just explaining it with 2 pieces of paper. Well, that's unique. Yeah, diagonal movements can be done with one motor, but the motors moving in conjunction move your individual X and Y. It's a pretty neat system. I don't know if I like having belts crossover like this. I've seen some really complicated ones too, and I don't know why. I don't know why we've got small pulleys and large pulleys on this diagram. I don't know what the different why are we differentiating like that? I don't know. But yeah, that's KuroKesu. The one that I'm thinking we might go with is HBot. HBot's interesting. You have two motors. They need to move in conjunction, just like in KuroKesu. But what's happening here is the cart is only being held by the two ends of belt. You have one big belt, right? It goes all the way around everything and then back in. And then the two motors moving in conjunction will move the cart carriage back and forth, etc. What is the Axedraw system? I can barely type today, man. I'm suffering. I don't know what's wrong with me. Let's see. Well, this is new. That's cool. That's not really going to work for Burn the Subs because I don't think we're going to have belts in the middle of everything, right? That's a cool system, though. So that one basically... Oh, that's right. Axedraw? Yeah, okay. I remember Axedraw. So yeah, it moves an arm up and down and back and forth, and then your motors are fixed at the extremes. I think you still have a motor traveling with that. Run it as a giant Etch-a-Sketch, maybe. You put two big knob controls on it. Giant fiery Etch-a-Sketch. I can't afford that much wood. This in this one, the motors are indeed stationary. I see. So they move with one another in order to extend it, and then they move independently in order to move it back and forth. Yeah, because that just moves it like that, and then in order to get it to extend and retract, you move them together. Or no. Anyway. Yeah, the servo for the pen to lift is another one of those. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I've seen a couple of those in the searches. Yeah, this one is typically what you see. Yeah, so there's a motor on each side, and then it's a reciprocating dingle arm. Yeah, using Axedraw for Burn the Subs would mean that I'd need to clear an area above the whole board. That would be cool looking, though. It would be cool to have like this whole axis moving, up and down like that. I don't think I'm going to use that though. I think HBot is kind of our answer here. It does mean that I need to have a belt that moves to the y-axis, and I have to figure out how we're going to build something like that here. I'll have to get out a lot of stuff and sort of figure out what hardware we've got so that I can put something like this together. Means I need 3 carts on axes. What do I need? I need 3 carts and beams to hold everything up, and try to make it as minimalistically as possible. And then I need to put the 2 3-phase motors at one side. The thing about using something like the HBot, I guess we're going to call it, is that my motors are stationary, so I don't need to run as much stuff all the way out to the y-axis. Stringy nightmare. Oh god, what is this? Maslow. Oh god, no. Yeah, I know these. These are crazy. There's also a pen plotter for whiteboards that looks like this. No, we're not gonna do a robot arm for the camera, no. No. This just, this just scares me. Look at that, it's all held in with one pin. You just have pins on cables. I mean, this is pretty extreme in that it's a router, but the version of this that just draws on a whiteboard is kind of cool. Yeah, router on a string with like these cable reels on the ends. It's kind of crazy. They don't. Can we just show it? Where are you? You just show it. God damn it! Where's the? Wait, it's got bricks on it. It's just they just put bricks on it. Why? Wait, why bricks? Why not? Oh, geez. Okay. It's just bricks. Oh, we need a weight. Let's put a brick on it. Oh, here, they'll show it, but it's out of focus. Okay. That guy's wearing a space suit. That's how dangerous this thing is. Boy, they sure are doing a lot of not showing it operating. I guess they didn't want to get dust all over the room. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. He has way too many swords. Sword guys. Add 2 more cables and tighten everything properly. You need 4 motors, yeah, but it would also probably work since you have it constrained to a plane. Yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, the constraining is going to happen with rollers in our case. I don't trust cables, but it would be interesting if you did 4 cables and you could move it to every point, and it would just be 4, but the 4 wires would always be in the way. I mean, I guess you could do it with 3 motors, but I'm not going to do that. My CNC machines use cables? Really? Well, I'm thinking HBot. I'm thinking HBot is the way we do this. But I have to figure out how I am going to be able to put together an HBot configuration. It looks like all the rollers in this case are drive rollers. I don't know what the pulleys up here are doing. And I guess if the teeth are facing outward, these only need to be pulleys. So I've got some nylon rollers that I can use here. One belt goes through the axis and the other ones connect to the axis. That's going to be a little bit more difficult to do unless this is on its side, in which case I'll be able to move it there. Hey, Groovy. This is Nintendbot directing for copyright materials. Wait, what happened to... We'll pull it up again. There you go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, how long do they have that open for? It was like a 20-minute presentation. Oh my god. Oh no. 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 Let's put Groovy up on the board. Bananaed. I mean banned. Oh, how does it fix the tension? I'll read that in just a sec. Hold on. I got bananaed because Twitch told me I wasn't allowed to stream. No one was allowed to stream during Nintendo. Does this have audio on? No, it doesn't. Okay, good. I was making sure my Twitch boots up muted. Did you know they're adding Goku to Breath of the Wild? Nintendo announced Skyrim 2. Groovy something, welcome to the board. Thank you so much for subbing. 30 months. Damn. Welcome. Yeah, see Goku in Breath of the Wild. Isn't that cool? Pretty cool. See, and then they still have a lot of Breath of the Wild. See, that's Breath of the Wild right there. All right, anyway. Shut up, Nintendron. Nobody asked. Close this, go back to here. HBot. Yeah, the board it's steady filling. Pretty good to see. It's almost dead. Almost. There's only so much more that can go on there. All right, so belts can do tighter turns. Cables have a minimum radius before they start to wear out. Yeah, because it's bending that metal over and over. Move the bottom pulleys. So how does, okay, so how does this, hear me out. One motor, a bunch of clutches, and a model train set. I know, right? You do with one motor and a bunch of advanced gearing and clutches. That'd be kind of cool to do, too. You'd have one motor just moving at a constant rate, and then you'd have different clutches that that engage in order to move X, Y around. Okay, so 2 motors, 1 belt. How does this move? How does this wear? If over time the belt's going to stretch, that's going to need to be tensioned. Where do you tension it? I mean, you can put a spring tensioner at the cart, just one of those little springs that sits on the belt. What is it called again? What are these belts called? If I look up belt tensioner, I'm going to get a lot of car stuff, because cars do this. They just have a little tensioner roller that has a spring on it, basically, right? In printers and on BTS2, there's just a little spring that sits on it. GT3, is it? Yeah, this one is a pull tensioner. So you'd have to check up on this in order to make sure that it still has your belts under good tension. You have to check up on those. It's the springed ones that I'm really interested in, because then the spring always puts a certain amount of force on it, and you don't have to go around and check up on it. Here's another one. This is what BTS2 has. Just the spring tensioner that sits near the axis cart. It's just right by the axis cart, so it never crashes into a pulley, and it just keeps that belt under just a little bit of tension. Now, I'm using 15 millimeter wide belt on the whole thing, so I'd need to find like a custom one of these, or what I'd like to do is actually find just like a normal tensioner roller that would go somewhere in there. But that means I only need one, so that's kind of cool. But like when the belt stretches, what's that going to do to my text? Chains stretch? What? I thought it was just wear on the mechanical components. Yeah, we actually did look at clothespin springs in order to make something like that, but you can just buy them on Amazon. I just bought like a bushel of them. Okay, so if we have this system, I can tension it at the cart, and then as things wear, I suppose, well, I think it's going to be a very minimal amount of wear. We just need to keep it tensioned. So if we tension it at the cart itself, well, I don't have anything like that can do that. I don't have any tensioners like that. Or, you know, I just put a spring on the belt. Like one spring will keep the entire belt tensioned, it looks like. So I guess that can work. I mean, this will simplify a lot of stuff, to be honest. This will simplify quite a bit. Quite a bit. It just means that I need to have pulleys in custom places, but that's easy enough to do. So let me get some of the hardware out here. Let's get the full axis on the table here. I'm gonna run out of space. That's the only problem with working on this. I'm gonna run out of space. I don't know if we'll be able to build this today, but we'll at least figure out what we need in order to build it. But I'm happy to use pulleys instead of timing belt stuff. It's basically the motors will be the motors, and the far flung pulleys will be the ones that have teeth, and then the 4 rollers in the middle will just be nylon, and then they'll be on nylon rolling carts. A lot of nylon going into the new Burn the Subs, huh? Let's get the whole axis out here. This is gonna be awkward to move. It always is. A lot of belts and cables and wires and shit. Huh, maybe it's not that awkward to move. Well, it is awkward because it's getting stuck. There we go. All right, doing it in all this cool looking hardware that I bought thinking that I'd be able to make this mechanically first. Turns out, I jumped the gun. So this is our one-axis test. Yeah, it's going to be a long belt. It'll be a big boy. But you can buy this belt by the reel, so I'll definitely be able to, you know, string the belt to all the right places. Man, we spent so long trying to get RS-485 to work on the thing. I don't know why it's being weird. I think maybe it'll just take instructions from RS-485. I don't know, are they... Hold on, 15 millimeter... Powered drive? Wait a minute. I think this is different. No? I mean, I guess you can get Kevlar. Those are definitely not pictures of the product. Poly belt. Timing belt, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I can get. Doesn't say anything about Kevlar. Fiberglass reinforced, I guess, is the common stuff. But I mean, 15 millimeters is like for slightly larger routing machines and stuff. I want to use it because it's theatrical. It looks cool to have a nice big wide belt. And if we can organize it properly, it'll look cool. The other question is, are we going to do direct drive or are we going to gear it up? Definitely not doing that, but I mean, you get the idea. Fiberglass stretches. At you. Yeah. So I want this thing to look clean. I hope I can keep the cleanliness of this cart. Like, this is super clean. I love how clean this is. The belt goes inside of the axis and is hidden away from our shame. The way that I guess I could implement this in the H-belt system is turning it 90 degrees, right? So you turn it 90 degrees, and then you have a cart that sits on the edge of the belt like that. The return run is not going to be there in the H-belt. How is that going to work? Let me think about this a little bit. Try to think of what exactly I'm going to need for this. So if we're doing H-bot, then... Oh no! How did that get here? Anyway, do that before my channel gets deleted and Nintendo salts the earth from whence it stood. Belt drives, gross screw drives, also gross. Sorry, your commas. Belt drives, gross. Screw drives, also gross. I'm not gonna do a screw. That's out of the question. I basically want to have a light axis for both systems, and I want them to stack on top of one another. So, yeah, DNF. My problem is that, like, we put all this effort into making. I mean, it's not that much effort, but put effort into making these special cleats that hold the axis together, and now I can't use them. Now I don't get to use them. So if I do this, that would mean that the two carts could sit on they basically could sit on a system that looks like this. I just need to make a vertical belt tensioner, and then the belts are going to be just flowing in the breeze. That return axis could go inside. So it could be like this, only here there would be dragons. No, here there would be two rollers. So this would be holding an axis going vertical. We can think about it that way. Because, I mean, if we just think about it like, up, just like this, then I can have a piece of axis or whatever come vertically up from that, and then there would be a roller here and a roller here. Well, a roller as low as possible to make it look good. Make it look good. Listen, I'm really shallow like that. I want it to look cool. I ordered 2 connector pigtails for those low-C trucks. How do you say that? And they sent them in a small box full of packing peanuts instead of a bubble envelope. What the? So you're just like inundated with packing. Who uses packing peanuts anymore? Weird. Part of the beauty of something like this is that I don't need to run motor cables a long distance, so my motors will be local. Belt drive Z-axis. What? No. We don't have no Z. We don't have no Z's here. We're only doing an X and a Y. I mean, the Z-axis for us could just be like a servo that lowers a pen. Yeah, well, you still, yeah, no motor inertia, but you still do get the other inertia. You know, the axis doesn't weigh nothing, but yeah, we're gonna lessen the amount of stuff. There's still gonna be a laser driver and a laser. The other one will have a camera and a camera cable, but this is for burn the sub. So this is basically a laser etching system. Here, let's get rid of the article here. We can just look at that. All right, so I'm just thinking about what that's gonna look like on the rails here. Because if I keep, I'm gonna need to make a lot of hardware for this, aren't I? That's just gonna be necessary. Yeah, I guess I should rotate it in order to. There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what we're looking at here in terms of moving this thing around. Now, to make a test setup, I don't know. I mean, the test setup could involve hardware that I just need to transfer from one board to the other, right? Because if we make that larger, then, I mean, basically, if I do 2 of these rails, I don't know if I can turn this 90 degrees. If I turn it 90 degrees, still have a belt hanging out in space. Basically, just thinking about those beans is what we're doing today. We're thinking about beans today. Let me get the bin full of hardware for this. It's been doubling as a table, and I need to stop doing that. I need to move all this stuff off of here. God, what the hell is all this crap? There's like a bag of Cheetos on top of it. Open surfaces in this shop are not very long suffered. All right, here's the bin full of stuff, full of this kind of stuff. I have another bin that's full of other stuff that would also be useful as well, but we'll just run this for now. Run this other? Yeah, it's active. Okay, just making sure. All right, I'll try to have a kind of chilled out time looking at this stuff and see what we can come up with. Move the $1,000 of motor equipment to the side so I don't crush it. I'm trusting like more than $1,000 of boards and stuff to like $30 power supplies. Seen some printers that use Core XY. Those are fast at printing. Yeah, the motors that we have. Yeah, we're using two motors. 2 motors on the edges. 2, and the motors are these Outrunner hobby motors. I think they're called Outrunners. I forget what the terminology is. But yeah, these ones with the spindle on the outside, right? And then that has a little it's an encoder.
I guess, why can't I think of words today? It has the position encoder on it to make it is outrunner, that is the term. So it has the position encoder on it in order to make it into a servo. Now these are really designed to run high speed, which begs the question, you know, maybe I should be putting them into some kind of a reduction. The original plans were for at least for the x-axis, for this to run into a reduction. So that this would be spinning faster in order to get to where it needs to go. Now, we spent some time tuning this thing, and it turns out it's actually pretty damn good at moving back and forth and getting its positional stuff right. When you get all of the PID controller stuff into the motor controller, so it knows what kind of energy it can put into this thing in order to get it to go from position to position. We were able to observe that, and it's pretty cool. Howdy, Runny. Your outer is running. But yeah, that's one axis. We put this together kind of like it was a y-axis, and I actually spent time learning how to anodize aluminum so that I could make these carts. Now you can just buy these carts too. You can do that. But I made some custom carts for this thing. Cornerstone B, thank you for following. Appreciate that. So anyway, we ran this back and forth on one axis, and that's fairly boring. But it appeared to work. So the next test, naturally, is going to be adding a second axis. Yeah, it's not hard mode. It's actually easy mode. The software is probably going to be the harder part for it. But if we can take these baby steps to get to where we need to go, we'll be able to have, in the eventualities that we're going to be able to have an XY system that is essentially a small version of the large thing that we're going to be building. So that's my goal, is the small version, big thing, and we take baby steps to get there, and then burn the subs 3 before you know it. You know, that's that. This is, I mean, there's a lot of, I think Twisted Sister's actually building one of those robot dogs with the old controller that we had, and like, they use the larger pancake motors. The pancake motors are where the spindle and the stator and all that stuff, it's like really wide, right? And that way you get a lot of torque out of it. And I should probably have looked at those for this, but the reason that I even have these motors specifically is because they were on the open drive, the open motor controller, they were like the stock things to use. So that we could copy some of the tuning parameters. That never really worked out though. I had a lot of trouble with the open drive controller. That was actually fairly difficult to work with. Where'd all the motors go? They're in here. See, these are the encoders. CY Incorporated AMT102V. I probably should be using the more advanced ones that have the full differential on them, which I might do. I might buy new encoders and use the more fancy ones on Burn the Subs. It's not that we need that precision, but it would be nice to have, because they can get fairly crazy with the amount of precision. But for now we're going to use just what I have, because I have I've sunk a lot of money into this project. A lot of money sitting right here in front of me. Oh, you know what? I know where they are. They're not in this bin. They're in a different place. They're in a different place. Let me go get that place. It's one of the open bins on the shelf. Yeah, here we go. Get some of this stuff out. I need to move the fan controller. Oh boy, this is an overloaded bin. It almost folded on me and ejected everything. Whew. Okay, get that back over here. It's just a cardboard bin. It's not meant for this kind of thing. Yeah, here's all the other stuff that we don't need. This is my battery charger. This is why I tried to move everything out of the way, because I knew there'd be a lot of bins. Yeah, it's a mean well. It's I didn't spend a lot of money on the power supply. I've got 2 of these, and they're going to be run in parallel with one another. I don't know what the... Hey, Callan27, thank you for subbing. I don't know what the overall current draw is going to be on the whole system, and we could technically calculate that, but the system is under flux right now. But yeah, it's not perfect, but it means well. Ha, da-da-da-da-da. It's going to be here all day, folks. Callan 27, let's put you up on the board. But yeah, it's a Meanwell power supply. It's just a off-the-rack kind of thing. And it's going to be run in parallel with another Meanwell, which is not the best way to do power supplies. My buddy got me a much larger, what is it, KuroKesu. I don't know what kind of current this thing runs, but this is out of my friend's garage, so maybe that'll be good. I could take a look at that. KuroKesu TDK, switching power supply. It's much larger, though. I don't want to go overboard with it. Callan 27, welcome to the board. Oh God, oh no. What are you doing to, oh God, oh no, was happy to just be near farts in my butt, but, wow, I forgot about farts in my butt. Oh man, that's a fun name to talk about. Well, Callan 27, thank you for subbing. All right, boop, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I got a lot of garbage here. Got a lot of garbage. We gotta somehow figure out a way to staple this garbage to itself in order to produce some kind of a motion axis out of the whole ordeal. Part of our tuning of these motors involved this weird thing, which was a way to lock down the axis, and to give it like a little pulse with the axis locked down, and you can tune some of the stuff based on how it's moving. I don't think we're going to need to do anything with this again, so I could probably break this down and use some of the hardware. That means I've got at least one other axis with a thing in it. The way we got around this one is by 3D printing. There are actually, what do you call it? Not Thingiverse. This is from GrabCAD, I think, had this thing in order to put this whole thing together. But yeah, so we've got to make the H-bot out of this. Where are people doing this? I use Meanwell every day for all kinds of industrial uses. They're seriously solid, Honeywell, medical grade, super serious stuff. But Meanwell for everything else. Yeah. I mean, for like direct like automation stuff, I don't know. I guess, yeah, if they work well enough, they'll be good enough for Burn the Subs. Hell, if they're terrible, they might be better for Burn the Subs, because it'll be funnier when everything fails. So okay, we gotta somehow figure this all out. Now, ratios of pulleys. There's a band-aid in there just in case. It's like the box knows. The box is aware of what shenanigans are going to occur. So I'm currently using one of these, and these were sized to be the same with, I guess the same size as the rollers that I'm going to use. I guess the proportionality of all the pulleys doesn't matter, because that'll just go into software, right? Oh my god, I can't. There's so much like unrelated garbage in this bins. Here's another. This is a larger axis, and this is one that we custom anodized ourselves. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, exactly, junkyard tuning. Well, the original Burn the Subs was actually built from trash. It was made out of trash. I actually liked that a lot better. It was made not entirely out of trash. Basically what we're doing right now is sifting through garbage in order to find parts that are going to help us out after I've gone on an ordering spree of embarrassing proportions. But in doing so, we're able to put together a fairly complicated thing with a bunch of trash. The original Burn the Subs 3 came about from a friend donating to me their vinyl cutter. It was a decent vinyl cutter, but it had a lot of cat hair in it. Yeah, nylon rollers. So I have shoulder bolts for these, and specifically ordered for these, so that I can bolt them in. They're like M something, M3, M4, 6? Might be M6. But anyway, I have shoulder bolts specifically for these, so that, you know, the bearings and stuff are all in good spirits. And then I guess what I need to do is come up with a way to, instead of having the belt cleat to the cart, because they'll cleat to the one cart and then it'll pass by behind it, hopefully. I need to have rollers on these that are positioned in the right spot in order to carry that belt through. Ay, so much work. Ah, this one cracked. What the hell? Oh, there's a new thing to worry about that I never thought of before. I got a cracked roller. These are brand new. What the heck? This is shocking. Ah! I drop it like a mile down to the... God, no space for anything. By the way, this is the control board that was sent to me from Trinamic. Oh God, it's collecting dust. This is a Trinamic product that has all the MOSFETs and the MOSFET drivers and stuff on it. I never got to tuning that properly. But yeah, this is a new thing to worry about. Check this out. See, it's totally fine. I didn't calibrate this camera yet, so the visuals are a little artistic coming from it. Bonk. What the fuck? Like, that's not good. That is really not good. That really scares me, actually. Snapped right down the middle. What the hell? Okay. I got a new thing to fear. This thing isn't even, like, tightly on here. Ay. That ain't no good. See if I can get it out of here. It's an expansion joint. Get this thing out of here. Get him out of here. Open the door, get him out of here. Peace, no peace. Oh boy, I'm gonna need we're gonna need 16 times the detail. Do I have like a pair of pliers? No. Of course not. Of course not. I'll use wire cutters. This is not a sanctioned set of pliers. I'm gonna have to get my car tools out for working on this stuff. Like, I didn't even tighten it down that much. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hold on to this with more grip in order to get it undone. No. I need 3 hands. Using the against the body method. Just get it past the nylon and then it'll come off easy. That fills me with dread. That's what that does. Now here's another roller. We're gonna need 4 of those. What? Just bags of hardware. I don't even know. I don't even know. It's like this needs to be organized and incorporated into the rest of the shop, because this hardware has been in special hardware jail for so long. That ain't the right size roller. What's that doing here? This is a tiny little roller. It's like a little baby roller. There's one. There's one, just chilling. Just 2 rollers sitting in a hot tub, 15 feet apart. What? How'd you roll that into Common Core? Wait, what? What? I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, special hardware jail equals box of shit under the desk. That's essentially, I mean, I tried to kind of like keep my projects separate because there was a lot of specialty hardware going into Burn the Subs 3 and I didn't want it to like gather the same dust, share space and all that. But I don't know, eventually it becomes the special hardware that's locked away from everything else that I'm not going to be able to use on projects because it contains stuff that I've abandoned, like, you know, the bolts and stuff like that. I don't even know what people complaining about Common Core. Well, it's the way that they teach them to do stuff is weird. It's weird and convoluted sometimes. That's, I think, the main complaint that people have about Common Core math. BTS3 is a saga for all the ages. That's right. BTS3 is the Common Core equivalent of Burn the Subs, right? Yeah, they just teach like weird counting methods and stuff like that, and people don't like it. I have not been exposed to Common Core very much either. This is, by the way, this is the good type of drag chain. Even though it does annoy me that these drag chains, they don't quite sit flat. I'm too old to even know what math is at this point. Yeah, I know. But these are good because they've got the pop top. They pop up on the top pop, pop top, pop, 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 pop. Oh, I'm never gonna get that back. That fell on the floor almost immediately. You can pop the top and then lay the cable down inside of it. Although this one's way too bulky. I don't know. I'll have to find a different one maybe. I don't even know why I got this. I think I bought this and it was too bulky. The ones that I'm using are not this kind. This kind is less bulky, and it has the little door that opens up on the top. But yeah, you can pop the tops, and you can lose the tops, and you go looking for the tops, and you never find the tops. Tops are there, so it's tops. This is the one that I'm using on Burn the Subs. It's much smaller, less bulky, doesn't have the pop top. So I probably should have spent the extra money to get the pop top, because when we had to replace the one servo that was bad, stringing this through was very difficult to do. Stringing the wires through that, not easy. Not easy. Okay, so what's it gonna take to make an H-bot? I kind of want to stick to that size. Hold on, I got a cough. Okay. I mean, it's not an amazingly convenient size, but it's just the size of this was originally going to be the height of the new board, but I had trouble stacking the axes and getting all the hardware together. This is the part that I struggle with, is getting all this hardware together in order to make something. I'm gonna take this as the outer width. Might as well. The question is, how are we gonna mount everything? So I need to start sifting through and getting the little bits of hardware so that I can lay out the big bits of hardware. And then I scratched myself on that, whatever the hell that was. Ow. That thing hurt. I don't know what it was. Okay, here's another axis right here. This is the one that takes the smaller rollers. I guess the big carts take the big rollers and these take the little tiny ones. So, I mean, this could potentially be the y-axis. Or it could be the x-axis because it has... okay. I want to be able to get to all this stuff too. Like, you know, the oblong spacer bolts so that I can tighten everything properly as the board functions. As the board gets older in its function, I can still adjust everything. There's so many dead ideas in this bin. Oh my god. It's the bin of shame. Shame and broken ideas. Need one more of these. Yeah, this is becoming a BTS channel. The Isle of Misfit Toy. One toy. It's just a lot of parts. All misfits, all the time. Alright, so with this hardware, how are we gonna do? Actually, I need one more of the rollers. Unless I use like the tensioner roller, which would mean we need to mill out the center of that thing again, because we made one. I don't know if we'll need the tensioner roller. I mean, there needs to be a tensioner in the system. I just don't know where it's gonna sit. The bin will become part of your dowry. Oh no. To my beloved next of kin, I leave to you a pile of rust. And they're like, what the fuck? What is this shit? Imagine having bins full of stuff. What is that like? What's it like to be so organized, chat, that you don't have this? This is it right here. Everything you see, everything that the desk light touches will someday be yours. That was confusing. There was the piece of plexiglass in front of the bin, and then this belt was in between it. And so it was like, oh, it's outside of the bin. Oh, no, it's not. It was really weird. It messed with my head. All right, put this down. Get this out of the way. You can't see anything with this thing here. I'll eventually find that little piece of whatever it was and put it back in that bin. Maybe. Okay, let's see here. It's hot in here today. I'm sweating. Little bits of leftover stuff. Little bits of leftover hardware. That's another one of those tensioners. I don't know why this bin exists. This bin probably... Oh, that's all I needed. Ugh. Yeah, we got the motor. Don't have the encoder. Don't need it yet. I know, the LED stuff, I think I was scheming about what I was going to do with it, and I never got around to using it. I don't know, maybe I should put it on the 3D printer. Maybe not. The bin of White Claw. Well, you know, I went on a little spree because it was no carbs. So it's hard to find stuff that's like actually doesn't have carbs in it. I don't know why everything is so loaded with carbohydrate nowadays. But yeah, around in Pennsylvania, we get beer from distributors. Only recently have they opened up to allow, you know, like my local supermarket has beer, but it has beer only because it has a functioning bar in the supermarket. So you're going through the aisle and you're like, should I get SpaghettiOs, or maybe I'll belly up to the bar and get a draft while I'm shopping. It's this little, it's like the end of between the fresh stuff and the stuff on the shelves. There's just like this little corner where there's a whole fucking bar, and then they have the alcohol aisle because that's what it allows. So in order to actually be able to sell alcohol, the Acme has a bar in it. What the hell? This is because of regulations. And then in addition to that, if you buy a certain amount of alcohol from them, you technically have to bring it out of the bar and then come back and finish your purchase, like another transaction. So what if you go up there with two cases? You go up there and you're like, he'll do like, okay, now you got to take that and put it outside of the bar. So I literally have to take 2 steps outside of the alcohol area and put the case on the ground or in your cart, and then come back over and finish the purchase. It's so stupid. The alcohol laws in Pennsylvania are not great. But anyway, instead of going through that rigmarole, we have distributors. And so I'd go to the distributor and just pick up 2 cases of White Claw, and it comes with that little tray. And that little tray fits on a shelf really nicely, and it helps me organize myself. But then all you guys think I'm a fucking alcoholic because I bought 2 cases of White Claw. Over a year of being stuck indoors in a pandemic, I happen to have enough of those cardboard things to fill a shelf. Fuckers. I think mostly it's because people don't have a lot to comment on, and so they'll just comment on anything. Yeah, good luck shopping for food recovering alcoholics. Yeah, but you know, I don't know, it's just those laws are dumb. They're dumb. No, don't put Splenda in White Claw. Why? I don't know why people give White Claw the reputation that LaCroix has of being hint of lime. And, you know, whispers of orange. Because White Claws are fairly strongly flavored, to be honest. I know, I can never win with the chat room. You're right. You're correct. Okay, so 2 axes. Axis. Axi. Axonius. Axorum. I don't want to try it. They're already very sweet. Hard seltzers turned me into a woo girl. Yeah, you know. It's just, I don't want to drink my carbohydrates, you know? I can't win with chat. I can't. All right. 1 axis. moving from one axis to two axes is like the hardest thing. Oh, why are you adding Splenda to it though? Two motors, two encoders, a bunch of rollers. Gonna need one on each. Well, on the x-axis, we're gonna need 4 rollers. We need one on each end. And then the axis. And the question is how we're going to put this all together. Here, let me just I have to organize all my stuff so we can do a layout. Should probably put the control board on the other side of this actually. So I have some layout space. Yeah, let me here, just do this. Be careful, be careful, be careful. That thing is expensive. Put all the expensive stuff out of the way. Worth too much money. need to put you in the background. Also, these feet are not conducive to giving me plenty of room, so let me move these. Have a good KuroKesu time. All right, man. Thanks for popping in. Where did I put the hex key? Did I put it away, or do I still have it out? No, I put it away. Drink of hydrates, yeah. Now, if I'm drinking something that tastes like beer, it's gonna be beer. And I love beer. I brew it. I'm making myself. I mean, we could try to fit it within this size. Just to do a demo of KuroKesu, or rather HBot. What's up, the wars? How you doing? How you doing? What happening? How you doing? My problem is cutting this stuff. This stuff is difficult to cut. I don't have a chop saw. It's like the one tool I don't have. Brewing Brothers mostly do cider. Dude, around the end of summer or whatever, whenever the apple cider comes out, that's when I really kick it off in brewing because it's so lazy. $25, which is still, it's a little expensive, but I'm in the middle of the suburbs. So $25 and I can have 5 gallons of apple cider must. And then all I do is drop a packet of champagne yeast in it, and it makes a very nice dry hard cider. It's so good. Yeah, but it's cheap and easy. All I have to do is chuck cider into a carboy. I don't even have to boil anything. Yeah, I've got the whole Herm system, the heated electric recirculating mash system. You know, calling it a Herm system is like ATM machine, isn't it? But I've got that whole electric brew system, and it's powered by a Raspberry Pi. I need to update the control cabinet for it so that it's a little bit more compact. Excuse me. Man, I keep hiccuping. All right, so here's one axis of the system. The question is, are we going to rotate the motor 90 degrees? In which case, I have to come up with custom hardware for this thing. You either rotate the motor, rotate the axis. Those are my choices here. And as much as I would like to have this thing be vertical, it's just nice to have this on the vertical axis. Now, I've got all kinds of different weird ale. I'm looking at chat and trying to talk at the same time. You'd think somebody who's streamed for like 5 years would know how to do that, but nope. I look at chat and I just say the first word and it happened to be, I'm bottling a smoky brown ale tomorrow, which is awesome, Beat Drop Guy. But I just look up at chat and then that one word just makes its way into my, yeah, weird ale, bro, but okay. God damn it. All right, so anyway, making an HBot. HBot. What do you think, HBot? This is essentially what the scheme is going to be. The thing about these like weird belt systems is that they're turned on an angle, And part of Burn the Subs is that I really wanted to kind of like hide stuff. Where do you get the must? I don't. Yeah, I wish I knew of some orchards around here, but there's apparently it's like a Pennsylvania thing, like orchard is where they get this apple cider. Weird Al Yankovic sounds like a craft beer someone would have come up with by now. Probably. Weird Ale. Yep. There's a song about beer from him. Weird Al Dankovic, Flatland Brewing Company. Nobody's putting the E in there, though. At least from that. Well, this search has probably been, yeah, because it... There we go. There we go. Historic Brewing Company, Weird Ale Yankovic. Yep, it's been done. Everything's been done before. There's nothing original anywhere. Except for Dion Starflyer, who just subbed to the channel for the 4th month. Hell yeah, dude. Let's put Dion Starfire up on the board. Eventually, whenever the API decides, there we go. Man, I'm having trouble coming up with words today. Words are tough. Words hypnotize, words memorize. See, this is running on a reduction. I got a big old reduction gear right there. We're not running the current test setup with that. Although perhaps we should. Code Rushed! Thank you for the raid. How you guys doing? We're having a brainstorming session, so I'm feeling very unskilled. I'm feeling very unskilled. Basically just me talking about a bunch of toys. But Dion Starfire just subbed and we're burning them up onto the board. Thank you for the raid. Dank Ale sounds like they're selling something other than alcohol. The similarities between marijuana and hops are not missed. And actually I think some beers, like there are beers that have that in there. It's not plywood. These are maple planks. And it's about 5 feet by 2 something or other. I don't know. It's 4 big maple planks. Look at that. Look at that edge. Plywood. It's plywood. You're plywood. Yeah, they're long. They're like about 5 feet long. Yeah, same family of plant. I know that people have like interchanged the two in brewing. I don't think people have smoked hops. I don't think they should, but but they both have kind of that like, you know, you open the bag of hops and you just bury your face in it because of the smell. It's got that dankness to it, which is why they interchangeably use the term dank on brews, because the deep scent of hops is similar. Real question, with the encoder, will the reduction increase or decrease accuracy? That's the thing, is like I think giving the machine more of an ability to move larger distance means more accuracy, because the moves can utilize the motor more, right? 70s and 80s, there's a lot of talk about peels. Huh. Smoking beer. Yeah. Could sell those planks and retire. No. Oh, smoking banana peel. Yeah, there was like Bananadyne too as part of the like anarchist cookbook back in the day. So yeah, it's I bought that before the pandemic, that wood, but I'm gonna have to buy another one soon, because if that board fills up before we get our shit together for this thing, which it will, we're gonna have to reinstate. I'm gonna have to reinstate the whole board. I can't just flip it over because there's screws in the back, and I'm not going to take the electric planer to it because that would be cruel and evil for me to do. I mean, it is part of the board is that it is a live piece of art, but I do like keeping the old ones. I still have the other Burn the Subs board. It's in the corner. Burn the Subs 1. And Burn the Subs 2 is just like a light update to Burn the Subs 1. All right, so. No. I'm gonna flip it and cover the wood filler. No. The possibility is also that I may do a live edge for the next version of Burn the Subs, which means I need to go to that. There's like a little shop around here that just has live edge boards on it. At it. Home Depot also carries live edge boards now. So I could get a Home Depot live edge board, even though apparently they're kind of evil in that they fully support Pride Month while also shoveling money into anti-gay like organizations. So that's fun. All right. So X-axis also needs, what's that? Place is opening up again. Yeah, once that I think you guys were the ones that told me this. Wood prices shot up, but now they're coming back down as the supply chain sort of sorts itself out, right? That's what I hear. So I mean, we don't immediately need to go out and get wood for Burn the Subs. So hopefully that stuff kind of sorts itself out by the time I do need to go get. Could build a bandsaw mill with leftover parts and make your own planks for BTS 4. Eh. Okay, so 4 rollers on the 2 ends of this axis. I'm going to need a bar for this axis. If I make the other one just like this, I'll still need to flip this 90 degrees. And I think the other... Hold on. I'm going to cough. I wouldn't suggest you go out and get these motors. These are not... using these with the Granite Devices controller. The Granite Device controller is a universal motor controller, but these are Turnigy 5055 280s. Turnigy 5055 280 is what this motor is. I would not go get this, but this is like darling of the electric skateboard world. They use the slightly larger versions of these motors. I only chose these because of the Open Drive motor controller. The Open Drive motor controller was okay, but it didn't really suit our purposes. And then I saw like forum posts about it not being suitable for etching like XY tables because it couldn't hold a steady line. It was like herky-jerky going through motions, which was really concerning to me. So instead I went to Granite Devices, who has their industrial universal motor controller set up. And so that board just puts 4 of the industrial motor controllers, 3-phase industrial. It can also do steppers, but it's a more universal motor controller. I could have had any motor to build with, and I probably should have chosen either a smaller pancake motor or a smaller pancakier motor, maybe. I don't know. But this is what I kind of ended up with. I spent like, a bunch of money per motor getting 4 of these, so I'm gonna put them to use. I think they'll suit this project just fine. I was very concerned though because the original Granite setup, the Granite Devices setup that I had before I did the steering wheel project, would put it to a position and then it started to like drift and move in funny ways. And I found out, and the reason we took the project back out and looked at it again, I found out that actually the tuning parameters were off. It needed more of the proportional side of things, more P gain. But yeah, I don't know. I think these will work out. We've got fairly accurate and quick movement from this thing. I still want to be able to send it full instructions. So that's why we're doing this, because I would like to put together an XY table setup, even if it's just a demo, and check how it does like small movements and stuff. That's the goal here. The thing is, I don't have a lot of universal motory equipment or a lot of rails cut. I really need a chop saw, to be honest. Chop saws are so loud and obnoxious and annoying, but I need to get one. But even if we just limit it to a fairly small size, we'll be able to vet out how this thing functions, and then I can scale it up. I'm just thinking about those beans. How are we going to put those beans together? I mean, we can take this and put it directly on here, and I can cut a 2-wide piece to be the axis. But if everything's going to be functioning like this, oops, sorry, I bumped you guys on a scratch of my brain. My wonderfully clean-looking system of running the belt inside of the axis is no longer going to be valid. Nope, I'm beeping. Why am I beeping? Oh, because I ate a hoagie. This is weird. I've still got 10 units running, and I seem to have tapered off and be like perfect glucose level. But the question is, am I going to need more insulin? Probably yes. So I'm just going to give like a 20 carb equivalent bolus. Hopefully that doesn't drop me low. I guess if it does, this thing will back off. But that's weird. That's not what's supposed to be happening after a meal. All right, moving on. Yeah, let's start getting something together that we can work with here. Let's detach the motor controller, and I can get the electronics out of the way, and then I can start bolting stuff together. So let's get the expensive electronics out of the way. To safety. It's gonna be a lot of cables that I have to make for this thing in the future. I don't know what the control box is gonna look like either. I'm hoping that we can do like a plexiglass, maybe a smoked plexiglass front or something like that, and some kind of an LED display would be nice to have, or something similar. I don't know. Maybe I'll make the whole thing out of vacuum tubes. Okay, so let's get another rail like this. Now, in order to do that, I need to go to the back corner of the shop. So let me see where that other piece is. Oh, it's actually just back here. Then I got a couple of planks for Y. I could possibly use that. This thing is covered in dust. Covered in dust. And these are all the same length planks, so I guess we could do a full square setup. I would much rather this fit on the desk, because honestly, I don't have any other room. I don't have any other room for it. But yeah, this was originally going to be the Y-axis height of the entire board. It didn't work out though. See, the thing is, we have to consider that I'm going to be layering 2 of these, one on top of the other. Which means I'm going to need a lot of these roller hardware things. Okay, now you're beeping at me. Why are you beeping at me? Low insulin. All right. I have 20 units. I got plenty of insulin. This thing just cries wolf all the damn time. All right, so I can do this as a full square setup, but I don't think it's going to... The space that I have to store it is not exactly compatible with that. Vacuum tube, open relay, and exposed bus project. Yeah, like an adding machine. I know, that would be cool. I would like to do stuff with vacuum tubes, but I mean, using, yeah, like, what would you do with that stuff? Well, anyway, like transistor stuff. I don't know. I don't have that kind of power supply sitting around that can just run vacuum tubes. But those, I would like to get those Magic Eye tubes doing something at some point. I've got Nixie tube drivers. I think that's 60 volt AC. So maybe those could do something with vacuum tubes. Here, I need properly sized T-handle for this. I'm gonna get a sip of water too. Delicious tap water. It just tastes like tap water, doesn't it? Blah, blah. All right, so let's get these feetsies off of this. We can figure out where we want to put them. Eventually, we'll be moving stuff around, I hope. I just don't know if I want to, like, put, like, this thing on a single rail. it'll fit on a single rail. Ah. Just think about this for a minute. I mean, putting it like this, or rather like this, would be one way to do it. If I could hold it up, we can just cobble it together for the one test. It'd be kind of weird. But I could also just move all this hardware onto like one of these. Same length. Let's do that. I'm going to move this hardware over to one of these, which is the same exact length. It's just then we'll find a spot where we can hoist. Actually, wait. If I do that, there's nowhere to mount. Well, the bottom of it. You can mount directly to the bottom of it, and that's it. Because like if I do that axis, then no, there is no the bottom. You can't, because the belt runs along the bottom and the top, and then the rollers are on the sides. So there's no there's no axis that I can mount stuff to, unless the stuff that I'm mounting doubles as a bump stop, as a physical stop. I have long pieces of three wide, but there's a reason that tech died. Steampunk may look cool in movies, but in reality, it's a lot of work and fiddling. Yeah, the movies don't show the team of people required to keep the analog system running properly. Yeah, it's true. Cost is also another really one. I don't really need to. I have three wide that I can use, but it's uncut, so it's actually a very long piece. And I just want to put together a test. Like, this isn't supposed to be the final system. It's just supposed to be a facsimile of it. Just a fraction of its power. Because, yeah, I was hoping... I only have these two of this length. Are these similar length? No, they're not. These aren't even consistent within themselves. So, let me see here. If I'm gonna be building this thing with a minimal amount of of actually cutting hardware, I have 3 beams of this size. I can use these and make like a square setup, which, you know, that's one way of doing it, is I can use the bolt holes that I've already put into this thing and actually put bolts through this in order to make just a big square setup that'll have the 2 top rails, and then we need to flip the motor 90 degrees. Flip the motor 90 degrees, and then I've got my whole test setup there, and then that'll be fairly strong. I'll just have to come up with a y-axis rail, which needs to be slightly longer, and somehow mount to this cart, and also somehow have the belts come in at 90 degrees. And then I'll have another cart on that axis that then needs to capture 2 and then let the other 2 slide. So that can actually be, like, if I had 2 wide, I could put it vertically on this across, but I've got 3 wide, so we'll have to just make it out of that. It's going to be a little janky, but I think it'll work. It's going to be a little large, too. Everything's too big. But we'll just live with that. So, all right, might as well just get the bolts over here in order to build it, which the bolts are in the bin. I'll put together the stage of champions, and I'll have to figure out what the 3D print parts have that I could use. Either design my own things to 3D print, which would be a good way to do it, or you know, somehow mount that at 90 degrees. That's right, Dion Starfire. That's right. We embrace the jank. Even though this stuff is way swankier than any of the other hardware that I've been working with, because I want Burn the Subs 3 to be a little bit more professional. Well, I probably should have kept it janky, to be honest. Wah! No, 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 no. Ah, oh, there's the bell. Mechanical stuff is normally as robust as any PLC I encounter, but it's expensive. Yeah, instead of sourcing or replacing 20-year-old electronics. It's technically not a drop, but I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. All right, let me, I'm gonna find a place to put this. Ooh, something just like popped in my hand and now my thumb is all fuzzy. Pinched a nerve or something. Ooh, that was weird. Okay, it's back. That was weird nerves, bro. All right, so let me get a T-handle for this piece, and then I'll put together this. Ah, damn it! Square part. I can't lean anything up against anything else because it always falls over. It's just like a universal rule of kinematics. It's like a new physics. Anything leaning up on its side against something will fall over. I think Newton came up with that one. Nope, not that size, not that size. Not my tempo. There we go, found it. A pole or a rod will leave the ground if it falls over. I had one of the big rails fall over, and it happened to like be under my foot when it fell over, and it like hinged itself on something and like actually hurt the pad of my foot. I don't know what was going on there. All right, so we're gonna do this rail for the Y and for the two ends here. Question is, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions to answer. Let's just get some hardware out as a beginning of it. So here's this bolt dropping through here. And that's going to screw in. I've already tapped the ends of these. That's why I'm using them as supports in this case. Just using hardware that we already have, right? Yeah. Kinetic energy and all that. You're right. You're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right. Am I right or 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 am I right? All right, this is awkward. You guys are, the microphone is like right there. I gotta be careful. It's like I can't position myself properly in order to get all this stuff attached to one another. This one's fairly long. I did this like this so that they would be very strong attachments, and this is supposed to screw into the 3 wide rail pieces, and that would create the outside edge of Burn the Subs, and then there would be a mid, like in the middle of this, there would be another axis. It turned out to be too small for my purposes. I wanted to scale up Burn the Subs. If I'm going to be putting so much effort into it, might as well be on a larger scale. So now they're apparently my axes for the mini test of Burn the Subs, although I probably should have gone through the trouble of cutting these things down a little bit more. All I have to cut metal is that bandsaw, though. The bandsaw and the mill. These things cut really nicely with a chop saw. I don't have a chop saw. I mean, I've got a circular saw, and actually, possibly the project today should have been coming up with a miter box for the circular saw, because if we can do that, then I can cut these rails cleanly. They cut very clean when you have a chop saw. Turn my circular saw into a rail-specific cutting implement. That may be what we work on Thursday. I've got some like linear bearings and stuff that have been kind of sitting in the corner. I can cut those down and turn them into something that will allow my circular saw to cut these cleanly. I would very much like to have that set up. It'd be a lot like when we were figuring out cutting the mesh panel, which I still have to do, by the way. I still have to actually cut that mesh panel. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. All right, just try to... Okay. All right, that, there, and then there, this comes in from below. Okay. All right, now we're up in the air. It's gonna be right in everybody's face. Right in everybody's face. I need different camera setups for when I do hardware mode, right? The fact that I'm even just sitting here doing this is weird. This thing is covered in dust. Ugh. Ugh. Disgusting. So that'll go here. It makes a box. Harbor Freight has a mini chop saw. I don't know if I don't know about Harbor Freight. I don't know about that Harbor Freight place. Harbor Freight's good, like if the thing has the ability to kill you, you can get it cheap at Harbor Freight. But if it'll only maim you, I don't trust Harbor Freight. Hazard fraught. They had that scandal with their jack stands exploding. Why is this not screwing in? There's definitely a screw hole here. There it goes. Sorry, I'm trying to get hardware in right now. Where am I? We're all the way over here. All right. It'll only hurt once. Yeah. That's true. That is true. All right. Oh, this is a flattering camera angle. Very flattering. Oh my God, I stink. I should put on deodorant. Oof. Dropping stuff. Oh, how flattering this is. But I can mostly be off camera and my stomach is still on. Perfect. Just amazing. Guys, I gotta lose weight. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. The pandemic has me perfectly spherical in my, round is a shape. I'll remind everybody. So if I'm getting in shape, I've gotten in shape. I'm round. All right, there. So one singular axis becomes two. Although our hardware still needs to be figured out, this thing is bulky and always in the way. I gotta just stand up in order to handle this thing. But now we have the task of rotating the thingamabob. So with that like that, my other axis over here, I'm gonna get this off of this, peel that away. I'll use the larger rolling cart. I'm in the Fat Gut Club. I don't want to be here. I don't like this club. Too many bylaws. All right, so that gets tensioned with these, are different hex size, of course. So I put these in loose mode. Where is the right, geez, for the right hex key for this thing? These have offset spacers. For the offset, spacers that allow you to adjust the tension circularly with the one bolt. Clever system, stole it from somebody else. I mean, what I don't want to do is crack the damn roller again. That was weird and unfortunate and scary. There's a little bit of unevenness to the motion here, but hopefully that's not going to matter because we're dealing with encoders. Okay, so there's that. So now I've got two rollers, one motor, and a sidebar that hopefully, yeah, I got space to mount this. Hopefully that reaches properly with just the right angles. So far so good. Let's do, God, this is gonna fall over. I'm gonna put the stool under it so it doesn't, so it can't fully fall over. It's tough for me to show you guys this stuff because it's so big. I really wish this is a smaller test setup, but it's the cutting the rail part that I don't know if I can do with you guys. Okay, so I need right angle brackets. Those are under here. No, they're not. They're over here on this other chair. When we did burn the subs last time, that's where the drop counter came from. Grizzly has one too. It's 65 instead of 30. How miniature are we talking? Because I don't I need like a regular chop saw. But I mean, my circular saw would also be enough to do that. I mean, I could use the cubes here. It won't quite reach, will it? Needs to be slightly longer. Actually, well, that middle to there. I mean, the cubes would look good, but I don't have to use them. 2-inch. It'll fit the rail that I'm using. It certainly would. These are angled bars. Where'd all my corners go? There. Oh, I need bolts for them as well. I don't think these came with the hardware. Don't need that bag. All right, let's see. So, metric. I have a thing of metric bolts that I can use. How many is it? It's a Fisher-Price brand. Yeah. What's up, Valhalla Controls? How you doing? Okay, let me see here. Looking for hardware. All the wrong places. Not quite. Not quite. There we go. All right, coming back over with a little bin of hardware. This is all starting to balloon. I really wish it was desk-sized. Because we are just vetting to see if something works. We don't need to invent the whole system today. That is the right size. Okay, there's our size right here, not bin. I don't have a ton of them. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at this this all the way out here, this guy right here, and just trying to figure out how I'm going to attach these two rails in order to produce the XY cart, and then I need to figure out how I'm going to be putting rollers on it. These belt cleats are no longer going to be useful. This is going to go too deep and too greedily. Well, that might be okay. Where is the wrench? Is under stuff. And I could use the angle pieces, or I could use these corner cubes. Either one works, I guess. Although, oh no, here's the lesson with corner cubes: is that the hardware. Yeah. So if I put the cap head in here, it turns out, you guys can barely see, but it kind of blocks. It blocks the other piece of hardware from going in. Same thing with the right angle ones too. You need to use a different type of cap head, I think. Although I could maybe get away with it. Maybe. Let me just try to get away with it. It's really annoying though. I'm gonna sneeze and I'm not gonna be able to mute because I'm all the way over here. Yeah, okay, that's exactly the problem. Yep, I need to use different cap heads, so I need to find the softer cap heads. Not softer, the rounded head ones. The button head is the appropriate term. Button head screw, which the angled pieces have the button heads, but they are a smaller metric size, so they're not going to go into the cart that I made. Perfect. I really appreciate that. Do I have anything of that size in terms of fasteners? I don't know. Yeah, this is kind of annoying. Just not having the right hardware. It's my nightmare. What do I have over here? No, none of those are caps. There's the hardware bin is like right. You can see it. It's right there. That's where all my hardware is sitting. But I'm wondering if I have anything that's going to fit in here and be low profile enough. What fasteners did these come with? Wait a minute. Did those come with fasteners? They must have. Maybe they didn't. Or maybe those fasteners ended up in a different bin. Might have to go get a different bin out in order to put this thing all together. Those are not it. No. 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 Where'd all the bolts go? What is this? What kind of a chicken shit operation are we running here? These are like... Oh, these are for the rollers, by the way. These are the shoulder bolts that I bought for the rollers. So we'll need those. They look cool. These are rack screws. What are rack screws doing in here? This is ridiculous. This is out of hand. Those are giant shoulder bolts. Oh, this is that transistor thingy. Gotta find a new home for that. That shouldn't sit at the bottom of a hardware bin. I don't know what I'd ever do with it, though. Those are corner pieces. Those are corner pieces. It had to have come with bolts. It had to. Pan scraper. I mean, these are not the right size, and I keep running into them. I keep running into them. This is it. You guys are witnessing my descent into madness. That's what it is. That's what's going on. Down we go, down into the rabbit hole of utter insanity, where I become a babbling mess and can't find anything in my own shop. Well, this looks like it's something that I'm looking for. What size is this? It is the right size. Aha! See, proof. Here's proof. That's what I'm looking for. This is the part that I'm looking for. One of these little cap heads with the larger metric threads that will allow me to use... I need 4 of these. I found 1. All right, that's 1 of 4. Proof that it actually exists. Aha! There it is. This is the bag of corner cube hardware that I was looking for. Look at these. I'm rich. All right, anyway. We'll take 3. Put the bag back. 40 pieces of it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll leave this bin right here, even though it kind of hurts production because that's where I control everything from. So I don't know. Anyway, now that means that I can actually put this thing together over here, because these little cap heads won't interfere with one another. Oh, and of course it's a different size than I had out. Hold on, let me find the wrench for this. Go. Makes it easier. Get a little torque on it. And we're coming in from this side to here. Okay, I forgot that it's not supported on this end. It's too large. And so I've had to come all the way out here with it. Like that, and then I can go straight down to the middle. This is where a custom plate or something like that would come in handy. All right, it's one axis mounted. Move on in for the other one. Yeah, corner cube. The corner cubes I bought for the computer project. The corner cubes were so that I could build like a rail frame for a computer. I'm not gonna be able to get the wrench all the way over there. God damn it. All right, hold on. This thing gets more and more ridiculous and hard to move around. Put this over here. Is there another Nintendo thing going on? What's happening? All right, try to maneuver this thing so it doesn't cause everything to fall over and explode and die. Okay, there we go. I'll just have to work on it like this. Jeez. The other burn the subs, when we were working on it, I put it on a bunch of lighting stands, And so it would precariously be standing up behind me the whole time. All right, we're over here now. I'm propping it up on my foot. Foot's gonna get tired. That is too far away. Why does it work out like that? Huh. Well, maybe the cube has... Yeah, the cube might be a little... There might be a little wiggle room in that, I hope. Oh, how's everybody doing? Oh, thank you for the follow, by the way. Who was that? That was... #1 fan and Mohamed 007. Thank you guys for the follows. Okay, we're doing hardware today. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I'd rather be working on a circuit board or something like that, but we've needed to do this for quite some time. And what we're trying to do is put together Burn the Subs 3, the third version of the laser etching board that I run. And the third version is going to involve some pretty heavy-duty industrial controls, mainly 3-phase servo motors to power everything. And so we've got to put together a test so that I can configure these motors properly and make sure that everything works together. God damn it. God damn it, I dropped the screw and now no. Okay. Why aren't you, can you please work with me for just a second here? Jesus. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is put together an XY table. The beauty of an XY table is that we will be able to then turn it into something, like an etcher or whatever, and test out, oh, Bridgewater! Demonstrate Burn the Subs. All right, fine. That means I gotta unpack. I gotta unpack myself from the corner here. We'll go over to BTS. We'll put a Bridgewater up on the board. Thank you for subbing. Dude. Waiting. A Bridgewater, welcome to the board. Thank you so much for the 10 months. Ooh, that's out of focus. Hold on. We'll get you in focus eventually. You're by Hamster 1911 and Murder Bits and Octo J and Honest Dan Games. Now there's a demonstration of my power. The camera. I don't know what that is, man. It's having the camera on too many extensions. And a friend of mine was like, it's digital. If it gets there, it gets there. But like, there's a little bit more to it. If you look at that the visuals that we just had, there's more to just getting a signal. Things can get corrupted quite easily. So the length is bad on this. This is not meeting up, I think. I think if I just loosen this on one end, it'll meet up with the other rail. What? That's the right size for these, right? No. I picked up the wrong one. Yeah, anybody watching a digital TV with poor reception knows that well. Yeah, I mean, he was talking about audio, so there's a certain truth to what he was saying, but... All right, now that that's a little loose... There we go. Yeah, I don't know when this thing is going to be completely parallel. I think it's close right now anyway. It's close enough that I think we can make duty. Getting this axis parallel, that's an interesting thing that I hadn't considered, is that this is going to, wow, Cosmo Quest, party of 15, how you guys doing? Working on a big XY table right now. How's everybody doing, man? How's space doing? Is it still there? Do we lose it? Or were you guys watching Nintendo Direct and then got banned? But Twitch doesn't degrade the same way if you don't have enough download bandwidth. That'd be kind of cool. How you guys doing? So we are greetings, friends of Applied Pythagoras. Yeah, we're working on burn that. Oh God, why are you beeping at me now? What do you want? Oh my God, this fucking guy. My insulin pump either doesn't bother me at all, or it beeps for every single little error that it has throughout its day. It's like, I don't need to hear about your day, insulin pump. Anyway, what are we doing? Space is big. Yeah, good to see you. How's it going? So we're working on Burn the Subs 3, the third version of the board on my wall, what lasers people's names onto a plank of wood. I'm trying to put together a smaller kinematic test that will test the Granite Devices motor controller and the motors and the encoders that we bought, so that I can get a good path from G-code all the way to actual stuff being burnt. Okay, now it's time for burps. Thank you. Hold on. Nice hearty sip of tap water. Delicious. Okay. It just tastes like, I can tell by the taste that it came from the bathroom sink. Tastes great at 3 a.m., but any other time of the day, and all bets are off. Anyway, so Burn the Subs 3. If you guys have ever seen Burn the Subs 2, damn it, the rollers aren't visible right now. Burn the Subs 2 uses linear carts in order to move itself around, and while those can be better for certain applications, nylon rollers in our case are probably going to be better for this. It uses long belts, which we're not going to be able to get away from, but it uses a small belt and stepper motors and all kinds of good stuff in order to create the wonderful piece of living art in front of you with the names of subscribers on a board. I want to get away from using those linear carts. I think those are part of the problem. Part of the problem being that I didn't oil them properly because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. They were expensive too. They were expensive rails because they're 1,500 millimeters long. This is BTS-1. BTS-2 is an upgrade of BTS-1. So the board from BTS-1 is sitting in the corner of the shop. Not in the corner, but it's near where I keep the carboys. But anyway, so what we're doing is we are using nylon rollers, which aren't necessarily better, but I think they're smoother. I think they're smoother for our application. So nylon rollers, and then three-phase motors instead of steppers, and encoders. And we put all that into a Granite Devices motor controller, and we do all the different parameters and programming of the motors in there, and it will be able to handle instructions. And the instructions it gets don't even need to be in order. I don't know what it is. The Granite Devices, like, they seem to pride themselves on their ability to run non-linear instructions into motion control applications. Don't know what that's all about, and I don't know what's with planning for inertia and stuff. So I don't know what that's about. I think the Granite Devices stuff can plan for inertia, which is interesting. But in order to keep weight down on our axis, I'm thinking our best bet is to do something like this. Something like this is an H-bot method of moving your X and your Y axis around. It means that the motors can be attached to the rails and stationary in order to perform their tasks. So motors vertical, attached to the rail. I wanted the motors to be more horizontal originally because you can see them moving a lot better and it looks cool, but having a motor ride along on this axis is going to weigh it down significantly, and I don't want to have to deal with the long three-phase wires going all the way back to the controller and potentially causing a lot of interference on what may be more sensitive lines. So in order to lighten up the axis, it means the only thing we need to chuck around is the laser. So I just need one of these carts to sit out here. And of course the camera axis will also be doing the same thing. Basically, Burn the Subs 3 is going to have two XY tables, and they're going to be layered on top of one another so that one can film and the other one can burn. Not like burn in a fire, like burn with a laser. That's the idea. So we're putting that together today. So it means a lot of slinging hardware around all over the place. And I got to figure out how in Sam Hill I'm going to attach rollers to this axis in order to make this thing. Because we're doing an H-bot, which means we have one belt that goes down the axis, but has only, I guess it's responsible for moving the x-axis forward and backward, but it doesn't have anything else to do with the cart. And then the other belt is attached to the cart on either end. And then our belt is standing up, unlike the axis that we've got prepared over here. Which means, I mean, I guess I could just like flip everything. I'll probably need to make a plate for the motor. I'll need 2 of them too. So that's what we're looking at today. That's what we're vetting out and sort of discovering around here. And I think on Thursday we're gonna work to put together like a miter box of sorts for my circular saw, because then I can cut these, because this is a little big. This is a little big for just a test. A little bit large for just a test. A little bit big. It's a little bit big. Needs to be smaller. We need to be smaller. It's too big. All right. So how am I going to get this thing on there? This will not just clip in if I open up the rollers. It needs to be slid on. So let me loose one end of this thing, I guess. Grab that. Think big. 8 motors instead of 1. No, people wanted me to do 1 motor and have a bunch of clutches that dictate the motion of the XY axis. They wanted it to be more of a steampunk kind of ordeal. Now, if I do this like this, that's fine for moving the laser back and forth, and it makes mounting the belts easier, even though the smaller cart. Maybe I need to use the larger roller cart. I think I only have 2 of those. I think I only have... No, I should have more of them. I should have 4. I need multiples of all my different things. But, like, this doesn't have anywhere to cleat the belts. I mean, I could maybe run these on this. No, I think I made this specifically for that type and this for this type. I think these have specific types of rails that they work on. I think that's how we did this. Get a fine-tooth blade for your drop saw. I don't have a drop saw. That's why I'm talking about making a sort of a miter box. But yeah, people wanted to do individual, 1 motor and then a bunch of clutches, which I think is hilarious. Won't tempt me. Everything anodized is gonna get horribly scratched, isn't it? I wanted this to look cool. I wanted it to look cool, but our testing needs, it has certain requirements, you know? We're gonna end up scratching every single anodized surface that I've got. Woe is me. Woe is me unto my projects. What did I do with the bolt that I just took out? Oh, it's still there. Yeah, good place to keep it. All right, so this is our X and our Y. For the test that we do, I guess what I can do is just loop the belt around itself and then clamp it together. I don't know if the 15mm stuff fits into these. And I guess if I have control over where the belt is, it's easy enough to have one on the front and one on the back. One belt on the front, the other belt on the back. Is that going to tension properly? These have little... Oh, wait, that's not the right... That's not even the tensioner. This one is the tensioner. These have little offset spacers that allow it to clamp in. So I need to tension these so that this thing rolls freely, but also stays in the channel. That's a little too freely. It still wiggles a little. Yeah, see, when these things are adjusted properly, they're nice. Real nice. Yeah, it's still a little wiggly, but that's okay. All right. Where'd it go? Dollar Bear. Thank you for following. Hup. All right, so there's our axis, right? Now I got to figure out how I'm going to put all these rollers in place and get them all to the right height. Oh my God, this is going to be a trip. Question is, you know, how many? I mean, I could get away with 3D printing a lot of this stuff. I guess I can just like make up brackets to 3D print, and then put those into use, because it'll be cleaner in the end. I mean, in the end, we'll have to reinvent the wheel quite a bit in order to create this thing. But let's see what we actually need first. So I'll start breaking down our old 1-axis, and we can take a look at that hardware in context and see how we can make it work for us. Let's get this thing back over here because I want to take the belt off as well. Taking my belt off. Time to violate Twitch toss. I like how clean this is, but unfortunately it's not part of our system anymore. With this little drop-in cleat that I've made, all this is just an oval for the bolts to go into, and then a little track with a single tooth in it. Probably should have 2 teeth, but I mean, PETG was strong enough for this. I think this is the first part that I built in Fusion 360. The very first. Here it is. And now it's obsolete. It's never going to be used for its purpose. I really wanted to hide the belts on Burn the Subs 3. Like, keep them flat against the rail, and then on the return, it was under and inside of the rail. But unfortunately, we don't get that. We don't get that. It's unfortunate that we're not able to produce that sort of thing. That kind of neatness is out of reach. Everything's got to look sloppy. Let me see if I can work with this from the floor. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, there's no end stop for that. Whoopsies. My whole y-axis just jettisoned. Great. This is how you get cracked rollers. Probably have to put stops in to keep it from doing that again. I lowered this thing, and then the y-axis just like flew off onto the ground. Womp womp. Really? Really? What size bolt is it? Gotta get every tool, every single tool. That one's larger. Every single tool. Alright, actually, I think I have the hex key right here. I could probably use this. I don't like the hex keys. I like the T-handles, but the T-handles are over there. I want to go grab them. Much more comfortable to work on this stuff just out on the desk. Okay, where's that second bolt? This is just literally just an aluminum bar that I drilled a couple holes in order to put this motor onto the axis. So just get it done. That's the philosophy, right? All right, let's put this back together without harming it. Oh boy, it's swinging. He's swinging. You're swinging around with the hardware. Ow. Back here. Oh Lord, he's swinging. There we go. So, as not to repeat that mistake, I will go onto the side. That's a little better. Before I actually get motors on this thing, this is going to just constantly loosen itself. Having a good day today, everybody? Everybody disappointed in E3 yet? E3 is always kind of disappointing, isn't it? I'm glad to see some progress on some of the things they've shown so far, but looks like there's a lot of really good indie games coming out, though. Those seem pretty cool. A lot of stuff I want to check out. I'll forget about this stuff, too. I don't know where people hear about the games that they're going to play. I know Rabaz is sitting there with a pen and paper, like, taking notes on all the different games, but, man. At some point, I want to set up for a gaming stream. And play Long Drive or something like that. Hashtag disappointment. I guess. Yeah. You'd have a showcase for like weird games, right? Have like the E3 strange games showcase. Get all the deranged games out. Oh, that's too loose. I think that's way too loose. I shouldn't be able to just be chucked back and forth like that. So you need to have just a little bit of bearing action going on there. All right, so now that we've established this as our full axis, oh God, I can't even get close to this thing. Yeah, that's really loose. Okay. Full axis here. Now we need belts to go absolutely goddamn everywhere, right? So what were the 3D models that I had? There's no longer... This thing is now balanced. Great. Perfect. It means it's going to fall over. So on Thingiverse... No, it wasn't Thingiverse. It was GrabCAD. And Turnigy mounts. I don't know, that's probably not gonna, yeah, it's gonna come up with a bunch of different stuff, but the one I'm looking for is maybe CUI, Turnigy Servo, maybe. No, I put a slash in it. No, I put a space. I can't type today. Turnigy Servo mount. There. Nope. I know it's in here. I just need to find it. Close. This is actually pretty much what, yeah, this is turning it into an actual servo with this, with the NEMA size. Which one is this for? HK 5055. Yeah, there we go. 320 BLDC NEMA 23 housing. So that's close to what I was looking at. Which, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that people are doing this. They basically put the backplate on and then use that with the encoder. And I guess I could have done this to make it into like a full-blown industrial servo. Boy, when we're in hardware mode, my glasses like to be all the way on the front of my nose. Yeah, I mean, this is close. It's close. It's almost there. You have trouble cooling it, though. Which, I don't know if the motors really need to be cooled, but yeah, this is how motors do cosplay, exactly. See, was this it? This guy is, yeah, he has the two different plates. This is it. So this is the one that I got. This is the one that I used. We've got two different mounting methods. I guess if the motor is standing up flat, I still need like a special plate for it. And actually, the special plate, I want to water cool. I want to water cool the motor, even though I don't think I really need to. Part of the test here is that we can also have it do stress testing, and I can see what kind of heat that develops around this thing, because these aren't meant to be fixed stationary motors. They're meant to have a propeller right near them. Like, they're meant to be out in the open. I don't know if they're going to get hot. I really don't think they are, but it would be funny. and fun to water cool them. Basically, the plate like this would have holes in it that would allow water to flow through, which is incredibly silly, but it's fun. But I mean, these are 3D printer plastics, so they're probably fine to move the motors, or to hold the motors and stuff. Yeah, motors for the motor and mineral oil. Get out. Get that guy. Get him out of here. Neither of these mounting methods work for me. It's unfortunate, but yeah, they don't really work well for us, because if we're doing HBOT, we need this to be like vertical. Oh god, he's got it in he doesn't have it in perspective mode for that picture. Turn it into perspective mode before you take a picture like this. Oh man, all the dimensions just look okay. It's this orthographic mode is meant for a direct side view, not an isometric view. Woof. You need a CAD program that only turns it on when you're in a direct side view. Otherwise, your perspective is all screwed up like this. I don't know why they can never get that right in CAD program. It's like, am I viewing it at exactly a right angle? Okay, you can go orthographic then. So anyway, we mount the motor vertically, and then we've got rollers. Motor vertically, we got rollers, and then we have something out here that's holding a pulley directly. Could you 3D print a linear gear instead of using the belt as a linear gear? It would keep the belt from being on top. 3D print a linear gear. Not sure what you mean. You mean like a screwdriver? I don't really want to involve screwdrivers in this. Yeah, I don't want to have a rack and pinion either. No, I think this is our best bet. This is our best bet. Brunch Noodles. That's a great name. Thank you for following. Yeah, no, I think this is our best bet. Belts are good at covering large distances, and everything should stay pretty solid. It's just these belts will be out in the open, but the only crossover is at the axis, so that's good enough for us. Okay, so motor, pulley, motor. That pulley is going to be the toothed kind, the ones on the ends there. One of those could be a tensioner. Doesn't have to be. Just an idea. Yeah, I don't understand it. That's my problem. Happy to listen to your ideas. Don't feel bad. Why? What are the squiggly lines supposed to represent here? Well, anyway, two sides of the cart. That's vertical. Those things horizontal, interacting with the belts on the ends. What hardware am I going to use in order to mount the tensioners on the ends? And then I got to figure out the distance of the motor and how we can use either the thing that I have or use something new in order to... Squiggly lines probably means no tension. Oh, I see. Yeah. Huh. It's like crossways. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So, I mean, it could be as easy as just flipping this thing on its side. Just do it like that. Hold it vertically in the corner. The problem is, it's hard to show you guys this stuff because it's large. I can barely get the camera over to where it is right now. Man, this is a challenge today. So, do that, but do it here. I need to print up another mount and then build another one of these motors. The thing is, the axis that I'm using on the motor is actually the axis from a different motor. It's the longer version of this thing. Way more torque at speed and stuff like that. But what it features is a longer axle. And so I've replaced the axle in this motor. I need to do it to the others. Yeah, I need a Skycam rig before everything else. Before I even do that, I need to put my my circular saw on a linear axis. We're going to work on that on Thursday. I need to make a little miter box for that thing so I can cut these rails. That's why this is so big. I would have been happy to just have a little stubby rail on this and then just have it be deskable. Ah. All right, and then I need rollers on that somehow. How are those going to work? I can't use the holes that are already there. I think I need to make just a bunch of custom brackets for this whole thing. Oh. Ugh. A Bridgewater. If you add sound effects to the motor, would it be Axel Foley? Just gonna let that one brush by, hopefully causing very little damage. Solved by ceiling lathe. Yeah, these are all problems that we've already solved by mounting a lathe to the ceiling or something like that. Whatever harebrained ideas you guys have. All right. This is gonna be a process of either making a bunch of brackets or making a bunch of 3D files. I mean, I guess I can print most of this bracket hardware that I need for this test. That's probably the direction that this should go, because that means we can hop into Fusion 360 and start thinking about those beans. I mean the files that we need. Start thinking about the files, not the beans that I'm constantly thinking about. The dimensions of everything. That's going to be difficult, because if we have rollers out here, that's got to meet up with this mofo. And then the belt needs to be at the center of this bar, so I can use the Sherlurger gifted a sub by 3 Mares. Oh my goodness, 3 Mares is so generous today, gifting all those subs. Now I've got to position this thing so it doesn't fall over and create an incredible racket. And then we go over to BTS. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of 3D printing that I'm going to have to do. A lot of 3D printing. And then that hardware can eventually be made metal. And anodized. Dun dun dun. I might have to actually buy aluminum stock in order to build this stuff. We might not be able to ghetto our way out of this today. Unless I just leave it in 3D print. That would be feeding the 3D print enthusiasts, though. I don't want to do that. That's giving them too much credit. Sherlurker, going in near Gunnier, who's the first name on the board. No, wait, Dewey was, sorry. I was making fun of Gunnier was actually here over the weekend, and I was making fun of him for being the second name on the board. He tried as hard as he could. Just hold the laser in your hand and burn the names that way. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. When is a rich company going to take advantage of your ad here? I know, right? It's priced so that only a company can afford it. I don't actually have a I don't have a number in mind. It's just a joke. I thought this was the fake sub. Yeah, what happened to that? I don't know, man. You did some weird stuff and it got all out of sync. I don't know why certain people are able to do that. I just get Rage Shadow Legends, Rage Shady Leg Ends. I have been contacted at one point by somebody who wanted to advertise Raid Leg Ends, but I'm fairly certain that's not exactly the subject matter that you guys come here for. So I wrote them a very polite rejection letter for their ad. I think you announced the sub anniversary last week. Yeah, I don't know how you get into that situation, that scenario where it's rejecting your name, because as far as I understand, it's just when it tells me I can announce that my sub is renewed, I just do it. There's like 2 or 3 people that have gotten it into the scenario where it hates it. I've only ever been able to announce on people's channel once, too. That's the weird part. I've never experienced any of these. I don't have these weaknesses, chat. Okay, we've got to get the calipers out and start thinking about this. We got to start thinking about this, because I think what I need to do is get that guy's model of the 5055 motor, which we can find. We can very easily find a model of a 5055 in the right SolidWorks format or whatever. And I actually think I already have one. And then the CUI encoder, I think that was included in the files as well. So as long as I can, as long as I can keep them kind of in the same area, then I can design around it. The shaft length is something that I don't have in there. Yeah, just thinking. Hold on. Hold for thought process. I mean, if that's directly in line, all I would need to do is drill a couple holes in a plate. I think that's the better way to do that. I think holes in a plate gets us to where we need to be. Holes in a plate. That's easier to do. And then we don't have to do Fusion 360 in order to put that together. We just take a plate and put holes in it. What kind of plate do I have? No, I'm not accepting offers to put ads on there. No. It's a joke. It's not meant to be. Oh, jeez. Okay, all right. Let me put this aside. Let me put all this hardware aside. Not too far aside, though. I guess I need it to be. This is the problem, is that if I put this thing aside, this falls all the way down to there, and I need to pick it up in order to measure it. Jeez. These are the problems that I have around here. So put that there. Nope. Okay. Yeah, just one piece of metal there, one on the other end to hold the bearing. So that'll just hold one of these. Well, I also have a toothed version of this. It could be toothed, it doesn't have to be. So it could hold that up, and that would be on one of these bolts. My special shoulder bolts that I specifically ordered for this purpose. Why would you encourage people to sell their Doge? Hold your Doge. Don't sell. No, I'm not negotiating this. Nothing is going on there. Okay? I refuse to negotiate. Okay. Roller like that. And then I need 2 rollers on this. And that might not be able to be done with a he did say something stupid. Well, true, but I don't know why you guys gotta argue with this with me. I've put my foot down. There's nowhere to go on this. All right. That would have to be even with this and get it close. There's not much room here. I mean, I could do a plate and have this attach above, but then you'd have the hardware in the way. Wouldn't really be able to play with it. That does space it out properly. I can't really like do it from the rail though. It doesn't really work unless I used like the side hole and had a longer piece of rail. I'm just trying to think of how I can hold up the pulley that's going to do this whole thing, because we've got this roller and the roller on the motor. There's going to be a belt to the side of that, so I guess this whole thing has to be up, and it'll be right parallel to this, and this will be about its own distance away, so that'll be right about here. We got a belt coming through there, that there. A lot of things to think about. And then the other piece is going to have to hold the roller up at that height as well. Yikes. It's a lot more involved than than you really expect it to be. So we're gonna need, please Todd, no. 16 times the detail. Now this has a bit of room. This can adjust up and down. That's the motor mounting is not difficult. Do just a plate with 4 holes in it, and then mount something like, it needs to be the center though. So whatever plate I use has to have holes in the center to mount to the rail. It's going to be a little awkward, but it'll work. We'll get it to work. And then that height is slightly adjustable. This is going to need something on top of it. And I don't know if I should make a plate for the top. BTS2 is the board on my wall. So this is BTS3. It's all it is rollers and stuff. I guess if I do a plate from above, that'll work. Just a flat plate here with the hinges, or with the holes for these things drilled into it. From the look of it, I don't like, because I would rather these be very visible. I'd rather they, it be clear that they are just a roller with a belt going through them. If we're gonna have belts on the outside of this thing, they should be more visible. But in order to get it to be the right height, coming in from a plate from above, and then that will help it adjust vertically, because it can slide on this. Yeah, so it's going to be like 2 T-bars is basically what I need to be building here. 1 bar for this, the other for this roller, and then the third one is going to have to hold another roller. I mean, it could be all done with these, all done with the nylon rollers, but it's going to have to hold a nylon roller, I guess, in line with the top here. I could push everything to the side too. I could do it up here. There's a little bit more room. If I push it to the top, because remember, okay, so Burn the Subs 3 is going to be 2 axes on top of one another. And to make those fit, it'd be nice if I could come up with a better, there is no, well, it's just the way it is. Making it taller in this axis is bad. I kind of want to fit it to the height of the cart so that I can put another one on the outside. Which means, yeah, I guess having it even with a rail is okay, but having it a little bit offset from the rail is good too, because then I can fit it around this corner piece, even though this isn't necessarily going to be the final hardware. My brain meat is starting to leak out of my ears here, trying to figure out all the hardware locations and the, what brackets and whatnot. This is why it's easier to have something like Lego when you're coming up with ideas like this, because it limits your ability to mount things in a way that is constructive towards getting to your goal easier. That's kind of what I don't have here. Here it's like I have the limitless the limitless ability to create whatever is in my head, and my head is full of bees. I don't know what idea I'm going to be pulling out of it, and so putting this stuff together, it takes on a slightly more difficult whatever. I can't words today, guys. Let's see if we can find an HBot that's been done in HBot 2020. No, wait, that's gonna do rail. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Nope. Double cross center. What? What in the world? Why would you have a double center cross? What does that do? That is 3? What's going on there? Jeez. Double HBot, 0 racking. What the F? Just trying to do it simply. Yeah, that one has a belt on the outside. Why in the world this would be double is beyond me. There's the motion equation. Oh, God. Oh, God, we're going to have to deal with all that stuff, aren't we? These are just clever ways of drawing dicks I'm starting to figure out. I'm starting to catch on to this a little bit. This is just a clever way to draw a dick, isn't it? That's all this is. You need a framework that limits you so you can settle in on how to do something, because otherwise there are too many choices. That is it. Yeah, that is it. Having the limitations of something like a fixed building block would help me do things like, you know, the most basic of mounting. But I don't got nothing like that. Boy, yeah, these are weird. This is just drawing a dick. That's all this is. That's just literally just drawing a penis. That's all they're doing. There's nothing complicated about that. You've drawn a penis. You hack. That's a lot of reels. What's going on there? That's illegal. That's breaking law. They're violating the law, and I'm not going to stand for it. I just will not stand for it. Yeah, so, I mean, HBot. I'm thinking HBot is a great way for us to do this because it mostly removes all of the heavy stuff from the axis, and it keeps all of our belts pretty much, like, out of the way. Core XY, that would have been a cool way to do it, but Core XY requires us to have a weird crossover belt in the back, on the back field over here. I don't really like this. I don't really like this. So HBot means that we can just run rollers in the extremes and it will clean things up. That's my idea and I'm sticking to it. But I need to come up with, what did I just click? What the fuck did I just, what did I just, get it out of here. What's happening? Oh, Core XY versus HBot. What are they going to say? Biggest difference, Core XY systems have 2 timing belts and HBot systems only have 1. Core XY less vibration and can print much more accurately and quicker. Huh. Interesting. Why does HBot have so much vibration? Best way to understand how the system works. Oh, this is animated. I didn't know that. Can I not? Okay. That level of embedding is really obnoxious. Dear God. How does it do it? It's shocking. How the fuck? So in the core, that's Core XY. This would be HBot. What? What? Yeah, so what they're talking about vibration, which I don't know if that's really going to come into play in our system at least. Although we do have to traverse quite a distance in order to get to where we need to go. Now our motors are going to be fixed at one end, so at least we'll be able to, like, if we need to cool them, if we need to do, you know, stuff like that, like, that's all right there. We're not going to have long electrical cables introducing interference, at least not to the motors. Motors are fairly noisy, and they've got fairly sensitive encoders on them. Creating the kinematic stuff is going to be difficult. I'm going to need to make software for that. I'll have to work within the equations. Oh, God. But yeah, producing the different moves, I guess, can happen just with the equation we saw earlier, those XY, delta, etc. equations, where we just take what the motion is going to be and we translate it. I don't know. I don't think Granite devices can just take G code and make it into, you know, relevant movements and stuff, which also means that I need to worry about inertia. So it's possible that I could take, it is possible. Jeez, my words are not working for me today, guys. It's possible that we could take the code for Gerbil and unpack it a little bit and sort of cater that to our use. If I could, I could take an entire Gerbil front end and just turn that into this. It's just the X and the Y movements would have to be translated. I don't know how that's going to work with a Granite Devices controller, or where. That's going to be complicated. That's going to be the weird part. But yeah, anyway, so that's the scheme that I'm hoping to produce right now. So we do brackets on the two ends. The one end bracket, I think maybe I need to just buy brackets. I think I need to buy 2020 stuff. Open Builds parts store is always good for this kind of thing. So I can get, yeah, they do all kinds of cool stuff. And they're in New Jersey. Look at how many things I could mount to this. I already bought these. Oh, that one has like different things for the, So what I'm looking for is, they're having a sale. Okay, so I'm looking for plates and stuff. Rail, actuators, carts, enclosures, tables, hardware. You'd think it would be in hardware. Wheels, software, transmission, not quite. They do lead screws, pulley and belts, we already have. Plates, there we go. What? Look at you. That's a mount for a NEMA 23. That means that I could put this bracket on that and use it. It's only $7. Yeah, build a CNC so I can make all the stuff myself. Look at what they're doing. These clever dicks. Look at these guys. Yep. That's neat. This makes it more like Lego, huh? But yeah, a plate like that and a plate like this. Because I could no, I think that hole in the middle. Stop showing that. Stop showing that thing. I need this. No, stop it. Jesus. It's too bad I don't have, because those on their side. BTS2 is an existing CNC. It's literally right there. Yeah. It's right behind me. Yeah, don't talk about BTS like that. It's standing right behind me. It can hear us. If that's not going to be the same distance, is it? No, it is not. But yeah, that mount is pretty tempting. Because then I could just put the motor on that off to the side. Motor like that, off to the side. That wouldn't solve the height problem. It's not that big of a problem. Here's an idler pulley plate. Yeah, build the machine that makes the machine. That's what Elon Musk said was so hard about building cars. Everybody loves him so much. Yeah, the linear actuator end mount is pretty tempting. Like these linear actuator parts that are like meant for the bearing at the end of the thing, I could put a big spacer in there and then put the bolt directly to that. I mean, to be fair, these are just metal plates, and I could probably build metal plates on my own. But I could also buy them. I could also just buy them and just work with them like that. That's pretty tempting because it is a lot of work to make a plate like that. What are C-beams? Why am I looking at C-beams? What's that all about? Weird. Yeah, I think a lot of the things they do here are these linear actuators. That's what I was looking for. Open rail stuff. They only have one. Why are we in... Oh, I see. That's the number of columns. Okay. Why do they only have one? What's going on here? Plate sets for the different builds. Yeah, look at this thing. I would love a sponsorship from these people, but not popular. These, I think this is designed for belt. Yeah, actually, that might be belts. A lot of the stuff that they do here is with like a threaded screw, but I think I'm gonna go on a little shopping spree from this place so that I can get stuff to mount things to the to these rails. I think that might be the direction that I take. Well, it does seem like maybe I'm missing something. Is there a different like 2020 rail plates that I can get? I can probably get off-brand stuff too. Maybe it's under joining plates. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. These are the ones I'm looking for. If I had that plate, I could probably mount the motor. You even download the CAD files? Oh, hey. And yeah, for measurements, yeah, with the CAD files. I think open builds, I think you can pull from, I think Fusion 360 lets you import their parts directly. I think. Yeah, I know. Shopping time. Yeah, do I want it to be metal or should I look for plastic? That was the fart box that I built. That wasn't a real fart that you guys just heard. I'm just thinking. If I print all this stuff, it'll still be good for our small test. I think I'd rather print this stuff. It's easy and tempting to just spend 40 bucks to get these plates that I just have to pop some holes in order to mount everything, but we'll have to come up with better mounts for everything. But if I print it, that might become a more extensive project because I'm gonna have to design like this piece, but have it, but if I just get a NEMA mounting, like a NEMA plate, I can just put this directly to it. I can 3D print another one of these parts, modify another motor, and then I've got like a pretty easy mount that I can put on this thing. And I'll need to make a plate that holds the pulleys in the center. These guys, I'll need to make something that holds that. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. Motors first, I guess. And I guess if I'm going to do that, then the easy thing for me to do is just to go to V-slot plates and just get this. I think this is NEMA 23 size, right? If I 3D print this, it's not nearly going to be strong enough. I would need a much thicker. I mean, I could extrude it larger, but yeah. Do temporary work in order to get the other stuff working, Catch 22. I know. It's the now this is only a temporary fix, unless it works, in which case it's permanent. The old red-green adage. Yeah, melting the plastic, not 3D printing. That's an old credit card saying back in the day. Well, do I get dimensions on this thing at all? Well, it's a NEMA 23 is a standard size. NEMA 23 specs. Boop, 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 boop. Images. These are standard NEMA 23s, which I probably have one kicking around somewhere. I'm just interested in the hole spacing. I thought 23 was a driven dimension based on the hole spacing, but I guess not. 47.14 millimeter. Where are my calipers? Where'd they go? There they are, buried under a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's a shame I don't have a laser cutter, because I could just laser cut this stuff out of slightly stronger plastic. I think this is a standard NEMA size. Pretty sure. Yeah, it is. Boy, there would be egg on my face if it wasn't. 47.14. That looks about center to center. 1.85 inch. Okay, so yeah, that's what this is. NEMA 23 plates that I have. So if I get that NEMA 23 mounting plate, I can more easily mount the motor to the system. Question is, how do I want to mount it? Do I want it to be off to the side, or do I want it to be straight on? Because if I mount it to the side and I have the motor out here like this, means that the belt return will be clear of the cart. Well, it's going to be above the cart, so that'll be out here. I would rather have the motors inside, but we can deal with that later. I mean, the other thing is, you know, I can put it on center. Not with that. Well, with that plate, it wouldn't provide a lot of mounting surface. So if I do use the plate, put it out here like that, it also means that the second axis needs to clear this. So it'd need to be way out here. We'll deal with that problem later, I guess. For now, I just want to put together a test of the axis moving around. But then the other challenge is now I need to get an opposing pulley this distance. I need to get it here, basically, with hardware. How am I going to do that? Can't just put it in space. This isn't CAD. CAD-aided design. Are these the same size internally? I thought they were. One looks a little bigger. Well, anyway. That out in space, I mean, if it's there, there's a plate there holding that up, this would have to be just like held out. Yeah, exactly. It would have to be just like held out in the middle of space. Oy. That's where it gets more complicated, because I was like, if it's centered, then at least I've got like somewhat of a basis to work from. I mean, I guess, all right. I can possibly 3D print the part for this. And then I'm going to need to probably make something that goes here, whether it's just a T-plate, like a T-bar that sits on the end, or I don't think the parts store had anything in T-flavor, right? They had those brackets, but I don't think those will get us there. So yeah, we know the NEMA 23 size. Where are we looking? So that one, and then plates, V-slot plates. I don't think. Yeah, here we go. Idler pulley plate is looking. It's looking pretty close to what I would need. Even though I could just 3D print something to hold it in, but we could do like spacers with a bolt through it to hold the idler pulley in place. And then I can come up with something 3D printed in order to hold the two pulleys of the center axis. So if I get two of these, two of these, then I can do the side mount, and I'll have to use a spacer on the one. That makes the mechanical of it is that it's like a plate with the pulley here that's going to be wrenched all around in weird directions. So there's like weird torque on it. We'll just see how that survives, I guess. We'll see how that works, because I think that'll work. I think that'll get us there. Because they'll be metal plates. They'll be pretty strong. I just need to make sure. Some foam and epoxy resin, light, non-vibrant, and holes wherever you want. No. No, that's weird. Why? You guys are so weird. No, these will be fine. I don't know if they'll make it into the final build, but yeah. And then, I mean, I guess I don't want to model the whole thing though. That's what I'm thinking about. And if I look at just the brackets that they had, where were those? Plates, right? Joining plates. I wonder what's under accessory plates. I wish I could get all of these in one category. This is way too. Everything is like separated from one another in this. It's like these categories aren't filled with a lot of hardware. I had to make these, by the way, for the big brewing table. Shark bit holder? What? That's cute. That's cute. Look at that thing. That's kind of neat. Well, I'm not gonna get that. I don't need that. So yeah, my thought was a plate like this on that axis. I don't know if those holes are going to be in the right place for me to use, because they're going to be based on the 2020 profile, and I think maybe the two ends of the T there are going to be too close. In which case, like, what do? Do you drill a new hole? I don't think so. I think drilling a new hole is out. But once I get my hands on that hardware, I guess I can figure out what specific type of thing needs to go here. And if the motor's offset, that means that the pulley needs also be to offset. Language words: use, dump, can talk good, have talk good, need talk gooder. Brain work well for now. Okay, so I guess if I take the profile into account, this is going to have to go like that. And it could sit on another plate. I could have, well, I think about this. Think about where it's going to sit, and then sit it. It's like all out of control. Okay, because motor here, belt here, belt also here, pulley up here, way out of way. Not that far out of way, but it is a little bit out of the way. Yeah, it's gonna have to be a T-bar from above. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay, so that's what I need to figure out. Where to drill all the holes. Where do I drill these holes? The T-bar, I guess I can make out of aluminum if I need to. 3D printing it would be kind of weird, although that would do the dimensions properly. It would do the dimensions properly if I did it in 3D printing instead of trusting myself to actually build something. That's probably where I should go with this. Is just print something. Yeah, CAD to the rescue, indeed. If I do a print plate to mount the motor, is that going to be strong enough? I don't think that's going to be strong. It's going to like bend in horrible ways. You can just make thicker stuff in order to keep it from bending, but no, I think CAD to the rescue for the center axis where I need to put the rollers, and then buy $6 plates from New Jersey in order to do the rest of this. That's why we have Wednesdays off, so that parts can come in the mail. So I kind of know what I need to order from New Jersey in order to make the test work. It's kind of annoying having to make the test and have it be just as extensive as the real thing. But that's, you know, this is why I've been avoiding this project, is because today might not have been as exciting of a stream as I think you guys are accustomed to around here. But this is work that has been very necessary to get done. Just this kind of, you know, ironing the wrinkles out of what our test setup is going to be, so that we can get to the more exciting part where we actually start moving it around. Yeah, removing humans from the equation is kind of necessary when your human is as weird as I am. So instead of getting this stuff, I will get a couple different brackets from this place. I mean, the idler pulley bracket is literally just a plate of metal, but it's also $6.99. So the temptation that I'm unable to resist is just to buy this and try to place it strategically so that we could make an idler pulley that is parallel to our NEMA 23 sized motor. The absence of soldering is relaxing. How's that work? No way, man. I'm in my element when I'm soldering. Yeah, see, this was basically the original idea. This is why I like looking at this stuff, because it actually shows you the different ways of doing this stuff. See, they've got the idler pulley mount and the motor mount, and actually this is what we're doing. This right here, essentially. So if I get these plates, that'll hopefully make a slightly better go of it. And we can do what would essentially be either this or have it on the outside. I don't know about the H pulleys, but that's surmountable. We can do that. Okay, I'm kind of out of stuff for today, and my brain is scrambled eggs. I need to order parts as usual and get my life together. I think what we should look at on Thursday is turning my saw, my circular saw, into something that'll do a nice linear cut, so I can, clamp something into it. Something made out of extruded aluminum, maybe? Yeah, scrambled egg. That's right, that cat picture. Brain scrambled egg. Good luck getting your life together. I know, right? Yeah, the ideas, having like a flow of ideas kind of stream is tough, because I need to come up with all the stuff that I'm going to do in order to put things together, and then I need to order it all. I need to order this all like as fast as possible in order to make sure that we get things here so I can continue the project going forward. This is completely mind-boggling. But hopefully, damn it, come back here. But hopefully it will suit our purposes, which is basically just carting a laser around. Very strange. I mean, what it does is it saves us the weight of the motor traveling along with that y-axis. But yeah, the kinematics of it are confusing. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for sticking with me with this. Let's see. Should we? I don't think we need to bother another channel. I think I'm just going to end today. But yeah, the complicated, weird stuff, we'll figure it out, though. Davies is doing long drive. I want to play some long drive. I don't know if I want to play it on stream or not, but no, hey, you guys check out Davies if you want to. Davies. Yeah, check him out if you want. He's playing Long Drive, which is a fun game to watch. But yeah, my current thing is this part right here. How am I going to make that? Should be able to figure it out, though. That's what I'll think about on Wednesday, and then Thursday we're going to work on making my saw into a better saw so that I can actually cut these rails and make an effective test setup, I guess. We don't really need to cut rails to make the rest of this thing happen, but just in case I do, I would like to work on the saw. I'm not going to do it unless I do it on stream, it seems. And then we'll figure something out for Friday. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank everybody for all the subs and everything like that. And I guess I'm done. I guess I'm done. I'm gonna try to actually get sleep so I can feel good. Don't have a headache during stream. But this was not a lot happening, but we did make good progress. So yeah, we'll get there. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. Scrambled egg. Scrambled brain egg. Brain is scrambled. Hold on, wait, we need to finish on this one. I also like that it came up with a bunch of photos of scrambled eggs as well. Oh God, those are actual brains. Ugh.